Welcome to the deep dive.
Great to be here.
Today, we're stepping into a really profound narrative. It's drawn from a source document detailing a pivotal moment in the story of Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him.
And his son, Prophet Ismail, peace be upon him too.
Exactly. And this deep dive is going to focus specifically on that incredible test of sacrifice, what's known as Qurbani.
It's a story that resonates deeply.
It really does. So our mission today is to unpack this story, look at the key moments as they're laid out in this account we're using.
And explore its significance, why it still matters so much.
Yeah, what's the enduring meaning? At its heart, it feels like a narrative about faith, definitely obedience.
And, well, the ultimate demonstration of devotion, really.
Okay, so this account, it starts by setting the scene. It introduces Prophet Ibrahim and his son, Ismail. What does it tell us about them, their relationship?
Well, the first thing that's highlighted is Ibrahim's deep yearning for a son for many, many years.
So this wasn't something that happened easily.
Not at all. It says he was blessed with Ismail through Hajar, peace be upon her, in his old age.
Right. So a child born after a long wait, lots of prayer, that must have made the bond incredibly special.
Exactly. The document really emphasizes that. It made their connection profound, nurtured by years of companionship and love.
And Ismail himself?
He's described as growing into a righteous, obedient young man, a source of immense comfort and pride for Ibrahim.
Okay.
And the account is very clear. It was this cherished relationship, this deeply beloved son, that became the subject of, well, the ultimate test.
Which just makes that turning point, the divine command, hit so much harder. The document says Ibrahim started having a recurring dream.
Yes, and that's significant because in this tradition, prophets' dreams aren't just dreams. They're understood as a form of divine revelation.
Okay, so what did he see?
In this vision, this recurring dream, he saw himself sacrificing his son, Ismail.
Wow. Receiving that kind of command, especially about a child you love so much, waited for so long, how does the account describe Ibrahim's reaction?
It implies a profound inner struggle. You can imagine him being potentially overwhelmed, grappling with the sheer weight of this instruction.
How could he not? A loving father facing that.
But, and this is crucial, the document makes it clear, Ibrahim's faith in his Lord, it transcended all that personal effect, all those worldly ties.
So he understood it differently.
He understood it as a direct command from Allah, a test, basically, of absolute submission to his will.
And this leads to, maybe the most extraordinary part of the narrative. The document describes Ibrahim actually telling Ismail about this command.
Yes, conveying this unimaginable instruction to his son.
What was Ismail's response? How did he react, according to this account?
His response, as it's detailed here, is just, well, unparalleled. It speaks volumes about his own faith, his own obedience.
No fear, no arguing.
None of that. No sense of fear or hesitation or protest. Instead, it's just this complete acceptance. The document actually gives us the specific lines from the Quran.
From Surah As-Safat, right, chapter 37, verse 102.
That's the one.
तो हमने उनको एक नर्म दिल लड़के की खुशखबरी दी। जब वो उनके साथ दौड़ने की उम्र को पहुंचा तो इब्राहिम ने कहा कि बेटा मैं ख्वाब में देखता हूं कि गोया तुमको ज़िबाह कर रहा हूं, तो तुम सोचो कि तुम्हारा क्या ख्याल है। उन्होंने कहा कि अब्बा जो आपको हुक्म हुआ है वही कीजिए, खुदा ने चाहा तो आप मुझे साबिरों में पाइएगा। जब दोनों ने हुक्म मान लिया और बाप ने बेटे को माथे के बल लिटा दिया तो हमने उनको पुकारा कि ए इब्राहिम, तुमने ख्वाब को सच्चा कर दिखाया, हम नेकुकारों को ऐसा ही बदला दिया करते हैं। बिलाशुबा ये सरीह आजमाइश थी और हमने एक बड़ी कुर्बानी को उनका फिदिया दिया और पीछे आने वालों में इब्राहिम का जिक्र खैर बाकी छोड़ दिया।
Those lines are incredibly powerful. Ibrahim says, "Oh, my son, indeed I have seen in a dream that I must sacrifice you, so see what you think."
And Ismail's reply, just listen to this. "Oh, my father, do as you are commanded. You will find me, if Allah wills, of the patient."
Do as you were commanded. It's just immediate, willing acceptance. He even reassures his father in that moment. It's remarkable.
It really is. And the document uses this dialogue, this exchange, to showcase the extraordinary level of faith and mutual submission, too. It wasn't just Ibrahim.
Right, within the family, both father and son submitting to what they understood as a divine instruction.
Yeah.
So they both submitted in their hearts. The document says they then proceeded. There's another verse, Surah As-Safat 37.103.
And when they had both submitted and he put him down upon his forehead,
You can almost feel the weight of that moment, can't you? Ibrahim's heart must have been aching, but his resolve was firm, that conviction.
This brings us to the climax. The moment where divine intervention happens, just as the account describes it.
Right when the knife is about to come down.
Exactly. As the knife was poised, Allah intervened. The angel Gabriel, peace be upon him, appeared.
And he wasn't empty-handed.
No, he brought a magnificent ram from paradise.
Yeah.
And Allah effectively replaced Ismail with this ram.
So the test, it wasn't truly about the act of sacrificing the son.
No, not the physical act itself.
It was about the willingness, the complete obedience to the command. The account really underscores that point.
Precisely. And the source quotes Surah As-Safa 37.107, and we ransomed him with a great sacrifice. That's referring to the ram, the divine substitute.
A ransom, interesting way to put it.
Well, it served as both a symbol of Allah's immense mercy and also a reward for their absolute submission, their faith.
And there are those other verses too, right after?
Yes, 104 and 105 are key. We called to him, O Ibrahim, you have fulfilled the vision. Indeed, we thus reward the doers of good.
You have fulfilled the vision by being ready, by being willing, not by, actually harming his son.
Exactly. The willingness was the fulfillment.
So let's talk about the significance then. Why does this story endure? The document outlines why this event matters so deeply. So maybe we ask, what does this all mean for you, the listener, today?
Well, this narrative holds just profound significance in Islamic tradition. The document highlights several key things. First, and maybe most visibly, it's the basis for Eid-al-Adha.
The Feast of Sacrifice.
Right. Commemorated every year by Muslims around the world. And that act of sacrificing an animal during Eid, it isn't just a ritual.
It's more than that.
Oh, yes. It's an act that remembers Ibrahim's obedience, remembers Allah's mercy. The practice itself, Qurbani, it symbolizes devotion, gratitude, and importantly, sharing.
Sharing the meat.
Yes, sharing the meat with family, friends, and especially with those less fortunate. That gives it a really tangible social dimension.
So the remembrance becomes an active expression, feeding people.
Exactly. And then, more broadly, the whole story is presented as this powerful lesson in the core meaning of Islam itself.
Which means submission.
Complete submission to the will of Allah. Ibrahim and Ismail, in this story, provide, well, the ultimate example of that.
And it strikes me it's also a huge lesson about trust.
Absolute trust, yes. Trust in Allah's plan, His wisdom. That's a central theme. The document emphasizes trusting even when commands seem incredibly difficult.
Or just don't make sense from our limited human perspective.
Right. And it shines a light on virtues like piety, certainly patience, look at Ismail's response in righteousness, exemplified by both father and son.
The account also mentions something about resisting temptation.
Ah, yes. It includes that detail about Shaitan, or Satan, attempting to interfere.
How so?
On their way to the site of sacrifice, the story goes that Shaitan tried to tempt Ibrahim, but also Hajar and Ismail. Tried to talk them out of it, basically, urging them to disobey.
And they resisted.
They did. The document recounts how they rejected his whispers, his temptations. And in some accounts, they pelted him with stones.
Okay, I've heard of that connection.
Yes. That act of symbolic rejection is commemorated during the Hajj pilgrimage. It's the ritual of Rami al-Jamarat, the stoning of the pillars that represent Satan.
So that adds another layer, doesn't it? It's not just accepting the command, but actively fighting off things that try to pull you away from it.
Precisely. It adds that element of active struggle against doubt and temptation.
So the document really positions this story not just as something that happened way back when.
No, not just history.
But as an eternal beacon. Something about faith, inspiring people to prioritize Allah's commands above, well, everything else.
That's the core message it conveys.
So we've kind of journeyed through this account, starting with that really deep bond between father and son, then that unimaginable command, Ibrahim's struggle but ultimate resolve.
And Ismail's just immediate, incredible acceptance.
Yeah, those profound responses. Then the moment of truth, the divine intervention, the ram.
Shifting the whole outcome.
And finally exploring these powerful, enduring lessons that come out of it.
It really does underscore those core themes of submission, absolute trust, and piety. Yeah. They resonate so deeply within the tradition.
And maybe, for you listening, it encourages some reflection. What might this story mean when you face difficult choices or things that feel like commands in your own life?
Yeah, prompting you to consider the real nature of trust, of sacrifice.
So maybe a final thought to leave you with, drawn from this source. Just consider the immense depth of faith shown here, in the face of the ultimate test for both father and son. What does it truly mean to prioritize belief, to prioritize obedience above even your most cherished connection, your most beloved possession in the world?
And how does that eventual outcome, the substitution with the ram, how does that reshape our understanding of what divine tests are about?
Yeah.
And maybe what divine mercy looks like?
Definitely something to ponder.